Hello folks and welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn how to play Intelliwar published by Remarkable Games. This game has recently been founded on Kickstarter, and at the time of the recording, the late page is still open. You can find the link down below. So after watching this video, if you think this is a game that may interesting, go and check them out. And I want to thank Remarkable Games for sending us this review copy. This is a two-player game. You can also play with four players in a team fashion. It's a highly tactical two-player game where two players will fight with their units, rolling dice, upgrade them, and eventually whoever kills the prince first or eliminates five of the opponent's units will win the game. So without further ado, let's see how he plays. To set up the game, you will select the first player and then you will start drafting the character or the units to create your faction. You see here, you will start selecting the prints first of all. Here you have three examples of prints. As a reminder, this is a preview copy, so some character may be changed, added, and so on and so forth. So let's take a look at the anatomy of a character card. You're gonna see here you have a beautiful artwork. Then you have here how the units is gonna move and also the symbol that indicates or identify that unit. At the bottom, you have the attack number, which indicates the number of dice that that character will roll, and then you have the health points. This is the number of damage that this character can take before being eliminated. Here you have three spots, one for each die that can be upgraded. Here you have a passive ability that is always in place, and then you have a special ability that is one of the action that can take throughout the game, and we will gonna discuss later. And here you have the experience. You go up to distract, and then you can level up one of your die, and you will see how the upgrade or level up will work. These are the prince character, but there are other characters over here. You have the crossbowman, you have the swordman, healer, you have the knight of worth, and everyone has a different icon and different movements, different health point, and all of them in this prototype copy have three attack dice and also have three experience points required to level up. In a snake draft fashion, you will select five units. So you will start taking the prince. For example, this player takes the prince, the other player takes the other prince. This one will go back to the board, and then you have all the selection of the different characters over here. Now I'm just putting all on the table. And in a snake draft, you will select one, then the opponents will select other two, and then you're gonna go back and select one and another one, and so on and so forth until you're gonna have five units. Fast forward, both players have selected the prince and five units, and they also have selected their player color. So here you see we have the black player, and here we have the white player. And I want to point out that each chip, this is a chip, one side is black, one side is white, with the drawing here matching the character card that you have selected. You can identify the corresponding unit of prints from the art, but also for the icon over here. And at the back is changing the background from white to black. You're arranging a 3x2 grid. You are free to put that anywhere you want it. This is where start being strategic. You want to put the prints at the very back. You want to put the prints at the very front. You want to put the guy that has an armor at the front or at the back. That is up to you. There are also 6 tokens with treasure tokens over here with special abilities. You have a starting card that allows you to display this token in this orientation, but you have different setup and it's up to you how you want to set it up the game. For each of your character, you're going to take a red cube and indicate the health points over here. And then you're going to take the yellow cube and you're going to put it here on number 1 to start with. Then when it will gain experience points, this will go up and up. And as soon as you get to level 3, you will be able to upgrade and then you will put the cube aside until you gain a new experience points and you put the cube back on this track. Every time you get a hit, you will move the cube to the left until you use all the health points. At that point, the player will be eliminated. How the game plays. At the beginning of each player's turn, player will select two characters that they want to activate. Each player has two tokens of the corresponding token, and they will decide which character to activate. After both players have done that in turn order, they will activate those characters and they will perform two actions per character or per unit. For example, if I want to activate my Swarman, I will flip this to indicate it that has been activated, and I will perform two of the three possible actions. I cannot repeat the same action twice, but I am not forced to do two actions. I can just do one and pass, but I cannot repeat two identical actions on the same turn. The actions are move, attack, or use a special ability. After I choose two actions for my Thorman, I can do other two actions for my Thorman healer. I flip that coin, indicating that also this character has been activated. On my next turn, I will pick one of these tokens, I will flip it, and I will select a different unit. And the same thing I will do with the other character. I will select a different unit and I will flip the coin to indicate that I am about to activate the units. Every time, in every new turn, you cannot activate units that you previously activate in the previous turn. They need to be always different unless you start losing some of them and therefore your choices are limited and at some point you will be forced to reactivate some previous units. Or there are some characters that allow you to break the rule, but the general rules is characters that have been activated in the previous turn cannot be activated a second time. Now let's take a closer look at the action that you can take and how they work. Let's say I activate my swordsman and I decided to, as a first action, to move. Here at the top right, I can see how my unit can move. I can move one space diagonally. So in this case, I have my swordman here identified from the art and from the icon, and I can move by one diagonally. Where are the restrictions for movement rules? Well, I cannot end my turn on top of another chip, either mine or of an opponent chip. If I have one of my chip, for example, here, if the color is the same, I can move by one and I jump on top of it and move essentially faster. But this can only be done if the unit is the same color of the player that is moving the unit. If during your movement turn you end up on a space where you have a treasure token, or if you cross a space where there's a treasure token, you will take the treasure token. You can take a look. There are special abilities that allow you to do special stuff, rerolls, or extra experience points, etc., etc. And you take this token, you put it aside, and you can play anytime you want it. The next action that you can take is attack. You take the card. Let's say I want to attack with this character. I take a look at the character card and it tells me how many dice I'm gonna attack with. And if I don't have any upgrade, I will always start with 3 white dice. These are white dice where I have a half attack. This sword that is not bolded. You have some blank faces. These white dice have less chances to give you a hit. You roll your dice and then you sum the sword. This was a terrible roll. Let's try again. Will give a half hit, which doesn't cost anything. But when I have, for example, two swords of this type, that will count one hit. So the opponents will decrease their health points by one. If I have upgrades, these are bigger dice, you see I have a solid sword that will be already a hit. And we will see later you can upgrade it. Like as I said, you can attack or move only once. Another rule of moving and attacking, if your character has more movement points, you cannot stop the character move and then attack and move again. As soon as you stop, the movement action has been taken and then you need to attack if you so desire. The last action that you can take is use the special ability. Each character, as written in red, a special ability. This special ability can bend some general rules of the game or provides other benefit. In the black here, you have a class ability that is always present and always active before you attack or before you take an action or after you take an action or during the opponent's turn. After you have taken your 2 action per character, the character will gain experience points. You will get experience point anytime you end to activate your unit. So already you get 1 experience point by activating. You get 1 experience point for eliminating an enemy, and you will get an experience point every time you roll 2 blanks. So in the previous case, I roll 3 blanks. So for that, I will get another experience points, and you will get experience points if indicated by class ability or special abilities. For example, here, this clever swordman, you get an extra experience point after eliminating an enemy unit. As soon as you reach the top of the experience track, you can upgrade 1 die. So at the beginning, you start with 3 white dice, then you can upgrade 1 die into light blue, or you can further upgrade it to a purple one. And eventually, the maximum that you can get is 3 purple ones. This token here indicate how many upgraded dice and what colors you have for each character. Because the number of dice is limited in the game, but it's not something that should limit the number of dice that you can roll. That's only to allow you to keep tracks what kind of dice you can roll during that turn. After you upgraded one of your dice, for your experience point will be put aside, and at the first opportunity to gain an experience point will go back to 1. After both players have taken the turns to start the new round, players will take their previous token, will flip on the other side, and will select new units, and the game will proceed in the same fashion. As soon as one of the players eliminate the enemy prince or eliminates 5 units from the opponent, that player will be the winner of the game. And here you have it. As you see, the rules are extremely simple, but yet the game offers lots of depth because it's a very tactical game. Because the game is extremely tactical, so you need to be ready to readjust your strategy or your plan based on how your opponent played, but also how the dice are rolled. They will determine a lot during the game. The box says that the game lasts between 40 and 60 minutes. I think it's pretty accurate. I like the art. All the characters are extremely asymmetrical and are very thematic. The guy with the shield is definitely a big dude that is very difficult to hit, and at the same time protects the prince very well. You have melee weapons. You have range attack. So you have the archers or the guy with the crossbow that obviously prefer to be at the back and shoot very far. Another thing that I enjoy is the upgrade system. It feels very good to upgrade already in turn 1 your dice. You can start from white and then it becomes blue and then becomes purple. And this is a very satisfying. I like when games give you the upgrade very rapidly. I would say some part of the rules when the special ability or the passive ability take place and with the timing where it takes place is not extremely clear sometimes, but not a major issue for me. At the end, we decided to play in this way, and so both players will play in the same fashion. I really look forward to the final product because I want to see also some diversity in terms of number of dice, in terms of type of upgrades or experience points that you can get. You already can see from the box there is room for expansion, new characters to arrive. This is that kind of games that fit with Onitama or War Chess or the Duke, where kind of an abstract game and they put a little bit of thing with special characters. This grid that you move these chips and they try to fight. In the games that I mentioned before, you have more like a special ability, or you just need to end up in the same space of the opponents to capture that opponent. Here you have dice. The difference is that you can have a very epic battles. You can have that guy with 1 health point. You keep rolling dice, you don't hit it, and that guy has 3 purple dice and can exterminate everyone. So the battle can be very epic, but they can, at the same time can be frustrating for the opponent. Again, this is really up to you if you like this type of games. And because the dice are involved and there's no really mitigation for the die except you can find one reroll token, you need to accept also that when you enter into the game. And so, if you think this is something that may interest you, you're looking for dice checker, but also some abstract tactical game with special powers and asymmetry. This is a game that maybe you want to check out, and check the link below for the late pledge of the campaign. And if you made it so far, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share with your friends. You know the drill. This is not your first YouTube video, am I right? Thank you very much, and see you next time. Ciao.